The Gospel according to Mark, chapter 2. When after some days he returned to Capernaum, the news went round that he was at home, and such a crowd collected that the space in front of the door was not big enough to hold them. And while he was proclaiming the message to them, a man was brought who was paralyzed. 4 men were carrying him, but because of the crowd they could not get him near. So they opened up the roof over the place where Jesus was, and when they had broken through, they lowered the stretcher on which the paralyzed man was lying. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "My son, your sins are forgiven." Now there were some lawyers sitting there, and they thought to themselves, "Why does the fellow talk like that? This is blasphemy. Who but God alone can forgive sins?" Jesus knew in his own mind that this is what they were thinking, and said to them, "Why do you harbor thoughts like these? Is it easier to say to this paralyzed man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Stand up, take your bed, and walk'? But to convince you that the Son of Man has the right on earth to forgive sins," he turned to the paralyzed man, "I say to you, stand up, take your bed, and go home." And he got up, and at once he took the stretcher and went out in full view of them, so that they were astounded and praised God. "Never before," they said, "have we seen the like." Once more he went away to the lakeside. All the crowd came to him, and he taught them there. As he went along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, at his seat in the custom house, and he said to him, "Follow me." And Levi rose and followed him. When Jesus was at the table in his house, many bad characters, tax gatherers and others, were seated with him and his disciples. For there were many who followed him. Some doctors of the law, who were Pharisees, noticed him eating in this bad company and said to his disciples, "He eats with tax gatherers and sinners." Jesus heard it and said to them, "It is not the healthy that need a doctor, but the sick. I did not come to invite virtuous people, but sinners." Once, when John's disciples and the Pharisees were keeping a fast, some people came to him and said, "Why is it that John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees are fasting, but yours are not?" Jesus said to them, "Can you expect the bridegroom's friends to fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, there can be no fasting. But the time will come when the bridegroom will be taken away from them, and on that day they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old cloak. If he does, the patch tears away from it, the new from the old, and leaves a bigger hole. No one puts new wine in old wineskins. If he does, the wine will burst the skins, and then the wine and the skins are both lost. Fresh skins for new wine." One Sabbath he was going through the cornfields, and his disciples, as they went, began to pluck ears of corn. The Pharisees said to him, "Look, why are they doing what is forbidden on the Sabbath?" He answered, "Have you never read that David did this when he and his men were hungry and had nothing to eat? He went into the house of God in the name of Abiathar, the high priest, and ate the sacred bread, though no one but the priest is allowed to eat it, and even gave it to his men." Here he also said to them, "The Sabbath is made for the sake of man, not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is sovereign even over the Sabbath."